Hi everyone, welcome to Honey Drops Tarot. This is a reading for the Earth signs and their twin flame connection. Earth signs, thank you so much for being here. Thank you for all of your likes, shares, and subscribes. I truly appreciate it. Just a quick note, please do not fall for any scammers. I will never reach out to solicit for a private reading. I do offer private readings, and if you're interested in signing up for one of those or in making a donation, the information regarding that can be found in the About section of my YouTube page, and I thank you so much in advance. Twins, I hope that you're doing well. If you're cross-watching, or if you don't know what a twin flame dynamic is, the twin flame journey, I have included a link to Gabi Kovalenko's video, full-length video on twin flames. She does such a beautiful job explaining the complexity of the dynamic that I could never do it better than her, so I didn't even bother to try. But that link is listed below. But in a nutshell, the twin flame dynamic involves two people who share the same energetic soul. So one soul in two bodies. Twins are usually involved in a runner-chaser dynamic, and sometimes that polarity can flip. The chaser can become the runner can become the chaser. If twins are fortunate enough to meet each other in the same lifetime and to be incarnated in the same lifetime, it's a very intense connection, mentally, spiritually, sexually, and it can become overwhelming. It can become codependent, and one can get lost in the connection. And so Spirit, by virtue of what the twins are here to do, Spirit will separate the twins so that they can learn how to fully love themselves, to discover their spiritual gifts, and to raise the vibration of humanity, which I always like to joke in a way it's a very tall order. Oh, I just have to raise the vibration of humanity, no problem. I myself am a twin flame in separation, and I do these videos to help twins navigate this journey, because it's often harrowing and awful and rewarding and wonderful, beautiful, all at the same time. A beautiful tarot reader on YouTube helped me to discover that I was a twin. Her name is Baba Jolie, and if you've ever watched her, then you know how special she is. So I wanted to kind of pay it forward. I'm going to be using two decks for your reading today, twins. The first one is the Human Spirit Oracle for the overall energy, and the Mystic Mondays Tarot deck for the tarot reading. I'm going to be doing the overall energy in the base spread, so there's no single card to influence everything. I'm just going to be pulling 4 cards for the base spread from the Oracle, 4 cards from the tarot deck. For the clarifiers, this is for the earth signs and their twin flame connection. The first 2 cards are going to be your energy. The second 2 will be your twins. The third will be the connection, and the fourth will be advice from Spirit. Yeah, okay. So the oracle cards are down. Now for the tarot. Cards have been pre-shuffled. Okay, twins, this is your energy, but please feel free to flip it with what I designate as your twins, because twin flames can often mirror one another. And maybe you've been feeling that lately, that you've been experiencing emotions that you don't necessarily attribute to your own selfhood. Like you're feeling sad, but you weren't feeling sad just a moment ago, and then all of a sudden you're feeling sad. It could be you picking up on your twin's energy. So you always want to keep that in mind. To try and ground yourself, especially as an earth element, to try and ground yourself in the connection always. And how do we do that? We do it by taking deep breaths, just like I did, meditating, being out with nature, touching trees, being around plants, being around animals, they can cause us to kind of get out of our heads for a little while, get out of the connection for a little while, because that's precisely what needs to happen, right? That if we're so kind of codependent or obsessed or feeding off of our twins' energy, then we melt into them unwittingly. Is the word I wanted to use. Unwittingly, not having our wits about us. We don't want to do that, because while you can share the same energetic soul, twins are incarnated in this lifetime to live a human experience, and you're living your own unique human experience in your own unique body, in your own unique environment, and for constantly sending energy outside of us, especially if we're in separation, it's depleting, it's draining, and you're not focusing on yourself and your own up-leveling. So, like I said, feel free to flip the energies if you have to. The first card is number 16, which corresponds to the Tower energy of the major arcana. And the words are hothead. There's only so much interpretation one can do with a card that is so self-explanatory. You could be fuming. You could be absolutely fuming right now. You know, Mars is in the placement of Cancer at the time that I am doing these readings. And how I like to explain that to people is, you know, Mars, the planet of war and aggression, doesn't like to be in the sign of Cancer, because Cancer is the water energy, the empath, the compassionate soul, kind of the sign that wants to sidestep any argument at any cost. Although most Cancers I know are unafraid of that. As you grow older as a Cancer, you become less afraid of confrontation. At least this is my experience. Not always. But because Mars is in Cancer at this time, people could be feeling this intensity of their own emotions, this inability to keep cool, right? And that's very disconcerting to an earth sign. I don't know if your twin has kind of set you off in separation, but in no communication, no contact, or maybe you are in contact with your twin. I am in full separation, no contact with my twin, at least not in a physical sense. In an energetic sense, we talk quite often, but they could have set you off somehow, or the journey itself could be really distracting you. I'm seeing a couple outside on the sidewalk outside of my building. They're walking their stroller. They have their stroller, and something just stopped them, just right in their tracks. Just stopped them, and Spirit wanted me to say distraction, distraction. And it's frustrating, right? When we get distracted from our goals, that's really frustrating, because it leaves us with a sense of ill accomplishment. We're not doing what we're supposed to be doing. We're procrastinating. And we beat ourselves up about it. Well, first of all, what is procrastination, right? It's simply fear. It's fear of just having to face something. But then once you actually do it, you feel really good about yourself. You feel really accomplished. I don't know why. I'm a big procrastinator, not necessarily with work, but I don't have the luxury of procrastinating with anything with work, but with my own life, with finishing a project or a book, it's like, just sit down and do it. But I can't. It's very difficult, and then it makes me frustrated with myself, and that could be something that you're feeling right now. Look at this. It's almost like you could breathe fire. So Spirit is showing me you got to be careful with your words, especially to your twin. Even though, you know, you might want to cuss them out, and sometimes they deserve it, but you want to be careful with that, right? What you say and think about your twin is what you say and think about yourself. That's the crux, isn't it? That's the meat of this connection. It's learning how to love yourself fully. Love your twin fully, even if they're not with you. It's clarified by the Ace of Pentacles in reverse. This is a Pentacles energy, so this is your energy, Earth signs. Pentacles is all about interactions and situations and things in the material world. The suit of the Pentacles is all about how we manage our day-to-day. But when we deal with aces, that starts the suits. Aces begin the suits. The Ace of Pentacles is the hand from Spirit, saying, here, I'm giving you this brand new thing, this fancy gadget, this these resources, this money, this opportunity, this open door, this person who can influence change in your life. When the card is in reverse, our fists are closed. We're so angry right now, or so frustrated, that we can't see this refreshing new opportunity, this gift that Spirit wants to give us. We can't see it because we're so mad. Spirit is saying, yeah, the gift of a soulmate. You don't have to take the twin flame journey, you know. I go back and forth about that, which is why I'm still in the position that I'm in personally. But you don't have to take the journey. You can love your twin, but you can be with a soulmate. It's much easier. I mean, where are those soulmates, though? This is a question. This is the question you might have. But you don't have to engage with this journey. And perhaps you're here just to try and understand your place in it. Right now, you're doing a lot more harm to yourself by fueling your anger and your frustration, and by rejecting, and I use that word very carefully, rejecting what Spirit is trying to bring in to you right now. What is it, Spirit? What are you trying to bring in for the Earth signs? Three cards came out. The Fool in reverse, the Nine of Pentacles, Five of Pentacles. One, it's more of an understanding that they're trying to bring into you. They're trying to tell you, this is pre-Empress energy with the Nine of Pentacles, still Earth element. They're trying to show you how beautiful you are, how accomplished, resilient, elegant, and the Spirit just said elegant. The Nine of Pentacles represents single, independent energy. Somebody who is an entrepreneur. Somebody who enjoys the finer things. Perfectly self-sufficient. Spirit is trying to point that out to you. But sometimes you feel like this. Unable, with the Fool card in the reverse. This is Major Arcana number 0. This card usually represents someone who takes the leap of faith, has faith in Spirit, and says, F it, let's just go, let's do this. You got this card in reverse. There's hesitation to take a leap of faith. Why? Because you're stuck in a Five of Pentacles energy. Somber, slow to move, in transition, feeling left out, feeling abandoned. And maybe you're unable to say that, but you're definitely feeling it. Spirit wants to bring in this kind of, it's almost like they want to hold this kind of mirror up to you. Say, look at all the things that you've accomplished already. And I'm not just talking about like work, or it's more about the journey of your own selfhood, your ascension, your spiritual awakening, if you've experienced that, which I dare say that you have, because these waves of twin flames that kind of came online. Like I didn't discover that I was a twin flame until the pandemic, and a lot of twins came online during the pandemic. Now, I had met my twin 4 years before the pandemic. I knew, before I even knew what a twin flame was, I knew that he was my person. Still to this day, and I've dated many people. Not many, just many people. And when you know, right? So I can surmise or infer that if you're watching this twin flame message, that you've experienced a spiritual awakening, or that you're going through your dark night of the soul, or all of these gifts that you have are coming to the surface, and Spirit is saying, can we acknowledge how beautiful and unique and precious your gifts are? Are you able to see that through all of this smoke? Can we cool down a little bit? You know, Spirit has a strange way of showing me things regarding my own twin. Sometimes, I don't like to over exaggerate it in twin flame readings that I do, but I am a twin flame, and like I do want to emphasize that with you, only so that you understand that I know what you're going through in terms of the difficulty of it. Like, it sucks, and it's hard to talk about with other people that are not twins. Like, they're not going to get it. They're never going to really understand. So you have to talk to other twins that like really just can. It's not even about empathizing. It's about being in the ditches with you. Being expected to be like love and light and understanding, and then deal with the shadows of other people in such an almost intimate way. Other people, strangers, because you're so highly in tune with spiritual matters, because you're a twin. So Spirit is showing me my twin is communicating to me, like right now in this moment. Your twin rather got against the clock, number 30, which reduces to a 3. It's referencing the Empress energy, divine feminine, the major arcana, the Empress, the power of all. 4 queens, excuse me. It's almost like I'm stepping into a new voice. Because now it's like almost like my twin wants to put in his 2 cents. Why? Because my twin kind of looks like this. And every time I see this card, it's like I can't get over it. My twin, not exactly, but he kind of looks like this without all the clocks and the, copper hue, of course. It's strange. It's clarified by the Chariot card. Number 7 of the major arcana, Cancer energy, which is my sign. My twin wants to tell you about it. It's almost like, it's very funny. I know my twins never showed up in a reading quite like this. It's like he wants to talk now. He wants to tell you about what this journey is. Your twin, racing against the clock, feeling like they're running out of time. Maybe they're experiencing something having to do with their own mortality. God forbid. I hope no one is sick. But this idea, even if it's not your own mortality, but maybe if your twin is a feminine figure, and they are at an age of childbirthing age, or about to exceed that kind of limit. They want to have children. Maybe they're working against the clock. I hear, some people think, okay, I'm too old to find love again. How am I ever going to find love again? I can't be with my twin, but I can't find anybody else. And I'm just getting older and older and older. There's this fear. See? It's interesting. My twin is talking to your twin. There's this fear, and that fear could be imaginary. Because how many clocks are depicted in this image? It's like, what is time when you have all these clocks to deal with? It's almost like when you say I love you 1,000 times in a day, it starts to lose meaning. It's almost like that. It's like thank you, Spirit, the more that we worry about time, right? It's almost like it loses its meaning, because it's kind of like we're living finite human lives. It's gonna happen. It's gonna happen. So should we sit here and worry about it? Or should we move? Should we enjoy our lives? Should we experience victories? That's what the Chariot card is all about. It can also talk about traveling, exploring. It's interesting though, because it's like, this card is like in the air. The charioteer is like, look, Mom, no hands. I'm flying. It kind of reminds me of How to Train Your Dragon, which I clearly love. How to Train Your Dragon. It's toothless from the movie. Just soaring to new heights, just experiencing victories, kind of looking at our fears and overcoming them. That's what the Chariot card is all about. So your twin is they're really rallying, because these are their fears, that they're running out of time. And they're really trying to live in the moment, enjoy their life. Maybe they never have. Okay, one more word from my twin, and then we're going back to more regularly scheduled programming. I have a clarifier for against the, thank you. I promise you, I promise you, I promise you. I promise you, this is so bizarre to me. My twin is a Gemini, and every time I see the King of Swords in the tarot, this is him. As long as I've been reading tarot, my twin has always been the King of Swords. I was like, okay, we're going to go back to our regularly scheduled programming now. And he goes, au contraire. See, this is how it makes me feel. It's how your twin aggravates you. King of Swords in reverse. They have to be a know-it-all sometimes, don't they? King of Swords is the authority figure, the expert, the learned. When they're in reverse, though, it's a little immature. It's a little bit of like, I'm a know-it-all, I have to prove it to people. Man, my spirit guides are just on point today. Feels almost like an inside joke that I'm sharing with you. And I hope that it's not being lost. Your twin is vacillating between facing their fears of running out of time. Maybe they feel like they're running out of time with you, but they don't know what to do. King of Swords always knows what to do. Always. Always has a plan. Always has a strategy. Gemini energy, but in the reverse, they're bereft. Spirit said a little desperate. A little desperate. They want so bad to be free. Not just free from the twin flame thing. I mean, we all kind of want that at some point. But just to be free in their heart. And that's what they're trying to accomplish right now. Very funny, Spirit. Very funny. Okay. What's the connection all about? The number 4, 40, which references the Emperor card in the Major Arcana, the Divine Masculine. Blessing in disguise. Blessing in disguise. So, you can see the masks here. I love this deck. So steampunky and surreal and whimsical. It's always difficult to look at the journey, especially in your darkest moments when you're calling out to your twin's soul that why can't it just be normal? Why couldn't it have been easy? We know that we love each other. We know that we're meant for each other. Why couldn't it have been just that? Why is it that everybody else can find love and I can't? Why do I have to be tasked with raising vibrations and making the world a better place? What about my world? Right? The thing about it is, you know, there could be times when you just want to write off this whole thing. There's some days when you just refuse to even believe that it exists. Like, F this twin flame connection. It's you know, a lot of people say that it's toxic, that it's a toxic idea. I think those people, though, don't understand what a true twin flame dynamic is. I think there are a lot of people that mislabel their connections that are toxic and abusive as twin flame connections. But the real connection is understanding that there was and is purpose in the separation. I just saw 2727 when I said that. There's purpose in the separation. Thank you, Spirit. Because if and when you start to focus on yourself, Knight of Wands, start to exhibit that confidence, start to toot your own horn a little bit, start to show off your gifts, show off your abilities, help others, be that dynamic personality, you raise your vibration to such a point that all of this beauty and abundance just starts, it's like the doors open, it just starts flowing to you. You know, I've often said that when I separated from my twin, like fully just put an end to it, like no contact, and that was my decision, and started to focus on myself. I mean, like, it's like crazy things started happening. Money out of nowhere. Money out of nowhere. Got a huge promotion. I discovered my spiritual gifts and had a spiritual awakening. I mean, he had nothing to do with that in the physical sense. But the connection with him, the blessing in disguise. I'm so thankful to my twin. Sometimes I want to call him and tell him that, but then I'm like, no. But I'm so thankful. And this is what is happening, I think, that you're being faced with these lessons, and I know for you it might be a little bit more difficult at this moment. But you're being faced with these lessons so you can see just how tremendously worthy you are. Tremendously worthy. I have a clarifier for blessing in disguise. Yeah. 5 of Swords. Maybe you've been feeling like, you know, I say to you, you're tremendously worthy, and you start comparing yourself to other people. Five of Swords is winning at all costs. And why do we feel in any situation where I say winning at all costs, what is actually happening? It's that we're having to either fend ourselves off from other people, fight other people. Other people somehow play a role in our livelihood, in our abundance. So I say to you, you're truly worthy. And you start comparing yourself. This, or you, your twin, this is the connection. Start comparing yourselves, either to your twin or to other people. This can be dangerous. I'm going to reference Baba Jolie again, because lately she's been saying the phrase, comparison is the thief of joy. You're on your own timeline now. Be on your own timeline with your own aspirations, your own goals, your own sense of accomplishment, not comparing to others. Advice from Spirit, number 20, the Judgment card, but it's always your choice. Support system. Spirit is here for you. Death card in reverse. Scorpio energy. Number 13 of the Major Arcana in reverse. Spirit is saying to you, we're always going to be here. Your spirit guides, your ascended masters, your archangels, your ancestors are also saying it's not over. It's only the beginning of this beautiful story that you are rewriting for yourself. You're rewriting old narratives. And they're fully behind you, 100%. Let me get one clarifier for support system and a death card in reverse. 8 of Pentacles, but it takes hard work, diligence, to working on yourself, creating the masterpiece in whatever way you see fit. So that's your reading, Earth signs. I hope that it resonated. If it did, please like, share, subscribe, comment down below. Please hit the bell notification to be updated as to when I post new readings. Thank you, Earth signs.